The 115 movie, a piece of Call of Duty Zombies history that was doomed to fail ever since its original announcement and has been lost in time for a majority of people. So in this video, we're going to be talking about what went wrong with this movie and why it was destined to fail even from the start. Now, this movie was first announced in July of 2015 by JFK Gamer, posting some reveal images and a trailer on his YouTube channel. Essentially what this movie was going to be is it was going to be a ton of the most popular zombies creators at the time coming to a location and filming a movie. Many popular YouTubers were going to be a part of this film, and to be honest, I have no idea how this was going to work. I mean, just looking at this cast list, we have my boy the Lonely Mailbox as Tank Dempsey. Are you serious? MC Sport Talk as Richtofen? Who is coming up with this? While the casting may be a little bit questionable, it was still a thought that JFK Gamer had in his head, and he believed that it was gonna work. I mean, still, can you see my boy Jack as Tank Dempsey? Look at this image of Tank Dempsey, right? And then look at Jack. They don't work, my boy. But of course, since there were so many YouTubers announced for the filming, so many people were like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be the coolest thing ever. And of course, the JFK Gamer takes advantage of this and starts a Indiegogo FundMe page 3 months after the original trailer release. Now, don't freak out, but this goal that he was trying to reach was almost impossible. His goal was $25,000 in only 2 months. I mean, not even some of the biggest YouTubers in the scene right now could do something like that. And at the time, the JFK Gamer only had about 200,000 subscribers to his name, meaning this was a humongous dream for him and the entire zombies community. He tried to make it sound realistic by saying that if only 5,000 people donated $5, then he would reach his goal, which kinda doesn't seem all that bad, but when you really think about it, there's not that many people who actually really wanted this film so bad that they would donate that amount of money. Obviously, he couldn't fund it himself. He was a college student, and of course, he didn't have all the money in the world to fund a major film that he was going for. But many of his friends in the YouTube scene, I mean, such as Laggin24x or Reed or Mr. Telexify, I'm sure each of them have their own little advertisement for this movie. And then for a while, not a ton of people heard any updates on what was going on with the movie until Christmas of 2015. On December 26th, Team 115, as they called themselves, posted an update saying that they were trying to secure locations for the film and pre-production, which was a sign of hope for all of those who were wanting this movie because they got to see that it was actually being put to work. But unfortunately, that was the last post ever made to the Indiegogo FundMe page ever. It has laid dormant ever since Christmas of 2015. Now, a factor that we have to keep in mind here is JFK Gamer was actually still making YouTube videos even during all of this. And he was also a film student in college, and having all the time to film this is completely unrealistic and unreasonable. Now, this is where it gets crazy. Now, I want to talk about funding for this movie for a second because I kind of done a little bit of math here, and it's still a lot of money, and I don't even think that 25,000 is gonna cut it. So first, you're obviously gonna need props and costumes, which is gonna cost at least about $2,500, because even something as simple as Richtofen's costume could cost somewhere between $200 and $300, which is crazy, I know, but that's just how it is in the prop making world. I've looked all around, and they are all advertised as pretty expensive prices. Next up, they have to have a location, right, to film, and that's gonna cost probably around $2,000 for a couple days of shooting. Now, keep in mind, I do believe that at this point they have a film location secured, but that's still gonna cost about $2K. Now, a big hole in his pocket for this one is going to be the flights and the hotel, because with all these big YouTubers, you need to pay for their flights over here to the film location, wherever that might be, and somewhere where they can stay while the filming is happening. And this can cost upwards of $10,000 for all of these people. Expecting all of these people to show up at one time and not have any hotels or flights paid for them is very unrealistic, so he obviously needs to pay for this. And finally, the equipment needed for all of this is gonna cost probably about $7,500. I mean, just from cameras, lights, backdrops, etc., it's going to cost a ton of money. So that gives us a total of $27,000 minimum. The minimum is literally higher than what he was going for in the first place on his Indiegogo page. However, despite all of these obvious reasons that this wouldn't work, filming was still planned for April 2016. However, April 2016 came and went, and no update was happened on filming or anything about the movie. In JFK Gamer's original apology video, he states that the release of Zetsubo no Shima and the COD events that were leading up to that affected the idea of the movie. Now, this is all completely his fault because he is in the zombies community at this time and he knows when DLC is coming out for all of these games. So he should have been smarter with his release date or filming of this movie because he knew Zetsubo no Shima was going to be happening around this time. Now, why would you go and film a movie that would give some people excitement when you could make money just by staying at home and making videos about Zetsubo no Shima? I believe as soon as he saw the budget for the video and how much he actually had raised compared to his goal, he just got unmotivated and used Zetsubo as a way to kind of escape from his blame. He claims that after this date, the crew went and looked for more locations but were unsuccessful. And at that point, the film was scrapped entirely. And honestly, it was an unrealistic goal. He couldn't expect every single one of the YouTubers that he wanted in this film to cooperate with him. It was just a completely unreasonable dream, but I respect it. Mr. T-Lexify actually read a draft of the script that he was mailed way back, and it is so funny. I say it's funny because it is probably one of the worst scripts I have ever read, ever. No offense to anyone who wrote it. And obviously it was a draft, so it's meant to be kind of simple, but it was pretty terrible. And just seeing a bunch of untrained YouTubers you know, acting for a movie would have been just probably the worst idea in the world. But at the announcement of the termination of this film, he did do a couple good things, and he was personally going to refund all of the money that people donated back to them. And, you know, some of that even had to come out of his own pocket. So he at least had the dignity and respect to do something like that. But once it was canceled, it definitely left a mark on his identity and a scar on the zombies community forever. JFK Gamer uploads a couple more videos to his channel, zombies related, and eventually he disappears off the face of YouTube. He did return in 2020 for a couple live streams here and there, but ever since then we haven't seen a single thing about his channel. The 115 movie failed because of an over-reliance on funding, terrible planning, a weak concept, bad script, and it was a completely ambitious idea. Now, don't get me wrong, I would be completely on board with a Call of Duty Zombies themed Netflix film or Hulu TV series or something, but some YouTubers and 25,000 was not going to be worth it, in my opinion. I think a Call of Duty Zombies show or movie would be so cool if it was filmed by those higher brands and those who could actually fund it correctly and make it a wonderful movie. But all in all, this ruined the reputation for JFK Gamer and left the Call of Duty Zombies community with heavy regret. And with that, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Yeah, cause I got it like that. Flow so smooth like I got it on tap. Yeah, and I'ma say it be a good night while I'm on my Yingling, while I'm drinking Bud Light. Can you get it when you miss me?